My body just does not work like it used to. As a matter of fact, I'm so damn old, I'm starting to go bald. Whatever. I just ran 3 miles all the way over here because this deal was just so close to my house, but I'm so out of shape, man. I mean, I've been trying to run consistently, but it's just like, whew, it's awful. And I couldn't have said that better myself. Wait, that actually doesn't even make any sense because that was me talking. Because of the short distance between this vehicle and my house, I decided to just run all the way over there at night to go pick it up and drive it back home. Now, let me tell you, this thing was not in great mechanical condition. The thing still ran like a dream. Actually, more like a nightmare. But in the end of the day, it was only a 5-minute drive back home with no traffic. The vehicle made it back home. The vehicle is going to be a surprise until the next clip. But I should probably stretch right now because my legs were feeling really heavier than they should have. I'm gonna stretch. And boom. Merry Christmas to me, ladies and gentlemen. This is my 2006 Ford F150 I purchased for the price of $1,200. And yes, I'm going to say it again, $1,200. This vehicle ran and drove. I drove it back to my house. Obviously did not run well. The previous owner told me that his mechanic informed him that he would need to replace the engine. I realized that this was not the case. And if you guys already know Ford trucks and these 5.4 liter 3-valve engines, you guys already know what the problem is. And I did too. And yes, you guys know I would not have purchased this vehicle if I did not think it could be saved. Yes, guys, I am still staying true to the roaches to wrenches lifestyle. Roaches to wrenches for life. Let me get this thing into my driveway. Let's hope this thing will start. Oh, hey, I mean, for the price I got this thing for, and I'll tell y'all later, it's like, the thing runs, man. I mean, yeah, I gotta take the engine all apart and stuff, you know. You see that right there? You probably won't be able to catch it on camera, but the engine, it shakes, man. It vibrates quite a bit, so. And yeah, I mean, the thing runs, you know. For the price I got it for, you don't get running and driving one of these, but, you know, as I said, I gotta take the engine all apart. So what I want to do right now is I want to do a little compression test. Spoiler alert, I did not do a compression test because it was a pain in the ass. I'm still hesitant to tell any of my friends I've purchased this vehicle because they've always given me a lot of crap about these Ford trucks. The people have always told me they're unreliable, and they would give me a lot of crap when I would tell them that I was interested in purchasing one. Now that I did buy one, I just wanted to keep my mouth shut until I have the engine all apart and back put together and bulletproofed. I've always been warm to the idea of bulletproofing one of these 5.4 liter 3-valve engines, and now that I've had the opportunity to do it, it's very great. Now I can have a Ford F150 with a reliable engine. In the end of the day, I have a very nice run-in Ford truck with a full leather interior and the 18-inch wheels. Did I tell y'all this is the Lariat version? Well, yes, this is the Lariat version. This truck was $33,000 brand new, over $33,000 brand new. And I have it right now for the price of $1,200. Now, of course, I need to purchase parts, but in the end of the day, it is my goal to be in this truck for less than $3,000 when it's all said and done. All right, there's all the space we got to work with now. A lot easier. One thing I gotta say is that working on this truck was not as difficult as I expected. However, do not get me twisted. This project was not easy by any measure. However, it did help that I was able to stay consistent and be tenacious in getting this vehicle done in a reasonable period of time. And yes, you guys, I just used the word tenacious to describe working on a truck. What can I say? I like working on cars. It was also helpful that there was enough space in the engine bay to move my hand around, along with there not being bolts too corroded and breaking off. So not many things broke during this project, which was a great help. Again, let me stress that working on this engine was not ridiculously difficult. However, let me stress again, it was not easy. Do you see this power steering pump right here? I would do anything. I mean anything. I will sell my soul to the devil before I have to remove this power steering pump again. You know I'm just kidding you guys. You know I ain't never gonna sell my soul. But I'm just trying to say that removing this power steering pump and putting it back in was very difficult. It took me hours. Okay, my ladies, I'm about to pull the intake manifold. Before I pull it off, wanted to show y'all right here. Looks like some little critters decided to make the home in the old intake manifold. So yeah, I'm about to pull this thing off, and this whole engine bay smells like you know what. Ah, so this must be the reason why people don't like working on Fords. The engine bays smell like piss. Smell like straight piss. It also didn't help that the previous owner didn't do any maintenance on the vehicle whatsoever. It still had the original coolant, which was never flushed. It had all this grime built up in there, and it smelled horrible. I mean horrible. So next on the agenda, after everything, is I'm going to be flushing the coolant and power washing the engine bay. I have no choice. Sometimes you got to climb into this thing to get what you got to get to. Okay. All right. Oh, it's not over yet. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna clean this up fully when it's time to put it back in the truck. Alright, engine bay's all clean. It's time to continue. Alright kids, I've been wasting too much of my damn time. I gotta get all this stuff off before it starts getting too cold outside. Did I say before that working on this truck was not easy? Well, this is one of those little things. Anyway, the valve covers on this engine have 6 bolts on each side, which makes it for a tough removal process. But in the end of the day, it's the reason why these trucks are known for not leaking oil from the valve covers or the oil pan. The oil pan doesn't ever leak oil. Timing cover doesn't leak oil. I don't know about the rear main seal, but I just know these newer Ford trucks are known for not leaking oil. However, it does make it for a pain working on them. Okay. There goes the second. Got it. There we go. Anyway, guys, it looks like I just found out what failed right here. So yes, you can see this right here. No tension. You can see the tensioner right there. There's no tension on it. Gratitude, ladies and gentlemen. Gratitude is what I felt at this very moment. Gratitude because I have the ability to work on vehicles myself, and I don't have to trust the mechanic. I don't have to take my vehicles to the mechanic. So as you can see, the mechanic told the previous owner that the engine needed to be replaced. He told the owner that the intake valve has dropped and it has piston damage. The valves are bent. It's better off just replacing the engine. As you can see, there's no intake valve dropped. All it has is a failed tensioner. A failed timing chain tensioner. That is it. That's all that's wrong with this engine right now. But as we all know, these engines have lots of common issues, which is why I am bulletproofing the engine. So in the end of the day, I already committed to taking apart the whole engine. I'm going to be putting on a lot of new parts anyway. So I figured I may as well just take the whole thing apart anyway. So either way, it's a win-win situation in the long run. Figured I may as well film at least part of it. At this point, I've barely filmed anything. Throughout this project, I barely filmed any of what happened. All right, so let me remind you, I was working on this truck on and off for a couple days at this point while I'm removing the heads off. You can see those downpipe bolts are broken off. Those were difficult, insanely hard, not insanely, but they were hard to get off, man. I mean, they took a lot of strength you know, I was in a pretty awkward position, but one of them broke off, which is normal, and the other one backed out. In the end of the day, we were replacing the exhaust manifold, so it's not going to be a problem. The next day, I still haven't gotten all my parts in the mail, so I'm just going to replace what I do have already. First thing, we're going to be replacing this oil pump, then we might be taking off the oil pan and replacing the pickup tube. Now we commence our first step in the bulletproof process, which is replacing the oil pump. These oil pumps are common to go bad eventually on these 543 valve trucks. The stock oil pump just isn't enough to oil the whole engine, and it ends up causing engine failure eventually. So what I'm replacing it with is I bought this entire kit from Freedom Racing. Freedom Racing, if y'all don't know, their kit is the more recommended version, especially if you're a budget. If you're on a budget, you can get these kits on eBay for like $200. You don't want to use those kits, okay? Because they're not legit. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Stack from roaches to wrenches, everything budget. The king of budget rebuilds is buying OEM parts. Why? Because they're the only ones that work. All right. So yes, I did purchase the kit from Freedom Racing. It did cost me over $700, but in the end of the day, I bought the truck for $1,200, so it's not a big deal. But it is an OEM. They have the upgraded oil pump, upgraded cam phases, everything up there, everything in the kit is upgraded, and it's legit. So that is how I'm going to be bulletproofing this engine. Let me remind you, this is not a how-to channel. This is not a how-to tutorial channel, all right? This is just me filming myself, taking vehicles from nothing to something and making progress, all right? So, yeah, I know a lot of people, you know, talk on my YouTube, say I'm not doing something right, which is all right. But again, you know, I'm not trying to instruct you guys on doing anything. And the reason I'm saying all this is because I didn't film everything right here. So to drop the oil pan, you actually need to remove the front sway, like lower the front sway bar, remove the front cross member, drop the front differential a little bit. Like you don't really need to drop the differential, just you need to lower the differential a little bit. So it's a lot of work, and I did not film everything because this is not a tutorial channel. I'm just trying to show y'all the big points of what I'm doing. All right, so I hope y'all appreciate that. And yeah, I know y'all appreciate that because, you know, y'all show me a lot of love in the comment section. You know, y'all hit me up and I really appreciate that, man. So if y'all haven't subscribed already, take a second right now and subscribe to the Roaches to Ranches YouTube channel. We put out a lot of great content and it's going to be more to come. And we're going to be replacing the oil pan gasket. In with the new pickup. It's like a glove. The oil pump and the pickup tube, brand new. Ford Motor Company. Ugh. So this right here is my little work area where I got the cylinder heads right here. You guys may ask, hey Stack, why'd you pull off the heads, you know, even if you weren't sure that didn't drop a valve? It's because there are also other things that we need to do that are going to be way easier with the cylinder heads off the vehicle. One being spark plugs. If you guys know, I'm sure y'all already know, especially these Ford F150s, is that they break inside the cylinder wall. People trying to change the spark plugs and boom, The spark plug breaks inside. Next thing you know, they got to pull the head off anyway. Secondly, exhaust manifolds. The exhaust manifolds, they crack. And when you need to replace them, it's very difficult. People breaking bolts, making a big deal trying to remove these manifolds, and they end up having to pull the cylinder head anyway. So now, at first, when I was driving this truck over to my place, I didn't hear any issue with the exhaust manifold. I didn't hear that there was any crack in the exhaust manifold. I didn't hear any put like how my Chevy sounded kind of. It was either on this side. No, it was on this side. You can kind of see it. At first I wasn't sure if I made the right call, but then, as you can see, right here, oh yeah, it focused really good. So you can see right here that it was really starting to crack. So you can see how easy it is to remove and replace the exhaust manifolds with the heads outside the vehicle, you know. I'm just grateful to be able to save myself from having to twist my body like an 8-year-old ballerina in the wheel well of the truck while trying to remove and replace the exhaust manifolds, all the while hurling a fillet of profanities. And yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I will not let this truck send me to hell. As far as getting the spark plugs out, now trust me, this is a million times easier when you have it out of the vehicle. Huh. Stayed intact. Boom. This one's going easy. There we go. Now, of course, y'all, we can't forget about those cam phases, the most common failure on this engine. So the cam phases I bought from Freedom Racing, it came in that Freedom Racing kit. These cam phases are OEM, Ford Motor Company cam phases. Yes, they're expensive. Yes, they're going to last for a long time if you maintain the vehicle. All I had to do was make sure to install everything properly. Just make sure I don't bend the phases. Again, this is not brain surgery. It's just being careful to install things properly. Don't install anything backwards, and torque everything to the correct specification, and you're solid. You're golden. And after painting my new exhaust manifolds with flame-proof ceramic coating to prevent rust, I installed them on the vehicle. Just gotta torque them down properly. It's only gonna be a light click in the torque wrench, so just make sure you don't go past that click, because if you do, that thing's gonna snap, and it's gonna be a huge pain trying to get that bolt back out. Alright, what's going on, guys? It's just after 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, it's just one of those days. Yesterday and this morning is just one of those days where I got so much stuff going on, so many things I gotta do, that there's really just no point going to sleep. So I'm putting this truck together. So yeah, I've already gone through a Red Bull. I feel absolutely fine. I feel great right now, but I know I'm gonna feel like hell later in the day. So you gotta seize the moment. So this here is what we got going on. I already kind of bolted this one down. I still got to torque it 90 degrees and 90 degrees again. This one right here, I only got the head gasket on. Of course, I made sure that before I put the head gasket on, all the residue is off the cylinder. And of course, all the residue is off the cylinder head. And of course, you don't want a single drop, any single foreign material, anything inside between the cylinder head and the gasket, and between the gasket in the block. So yeah, we don't want no leaks. We don't want all this work to be for nothing. I'm telling you, man, that's the most satisfying moment when you're putting a cylinder head back on the block. That shoop, when it makes that noise, shoop, and it just lines up with the dowel pins eventually. All you other mechanics out there know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if y'all do this, but I heard from a guy that it's a good idea to dab a little bit of oil on the threads, and you put them in here just like that. Just boom. So that way, especially with these torque to yield bolts, cylinder head bolts, you want it to have good friction, and so we'll get oil. You want it to have as little friction as possible, so you'll get an accurate torque reading. So we're gonna dab a little bit of oil on all these. Now normally you're supposed to use thin oil, but 5W30 is the only thing I have right now. One nice little pointer that I always do is when I'm doing time and chain projects, it's always a good idea to stick a camera in the engine bay so you can see if the timing mark is right on the money. As you can see right here, I just stuck a camera in there and I can see that the timing was right on the money. You know, it's way better than trying to stick your head in the engine bay, which is, you know, trying to go upside down, like, no. Or if you have a mirror, that works too, but I don't have the mirror. I only have my phone, so that worked out pretty well for me. All right, boys, it's time. You know the deal, everything's all lined up, everything's all timed. Everything's all timed right, everything's all good and everything, so, you know, I'm just gonna pour a little bit of oil, more like a lot of bit of oil, all over this thing, just like, yeah. We don't want no type of dry start or nothing, man, like. There we go. Now it's focusing. So yeah, got the oil dripping and everything. It's all dripping, everything's lubricated. So you already know, man. Got a time for the old shoot. And shoot. It's all in time and everything. So yeah, this thing's ready to come back together. Alright guys, so I got the valve covers all bolted down, which pretty much concludes the internals of this engine. I probably just set myself up to fail because I completely forgot to oil the cams. Y'all know what it is, man. About 6 in the morning. I'm just on my way back. You know, I was just out and about, man. Had 3 hours of sleep last night, though. Got that going for me. Gotta get back working on this truck right here. Time to fix that mistake. It feels good to finally get some sleep for once, though. Let's go. Alright, what's going on, guys? It's a little frosty. This morning. Frosty weather got me all dressed up this morning. But anyway, hopefully y'all didn't think I'd be that stupid to try and run this engine. Try and start up this engine with no oil. In the top right here. That would not be very good. So here's the little contraption I got going on here. Basically, I got this pump. I got it into the oil right there, and I'm just pumping it with my hand and just, you know, putting the oil all over where I need it on the cam. So definitely glad I'm doing this. Sorry guys, kind of forgot about you for a short minute there. So, you know, I was just out and about, whatever. Came back, started working on the F-150, just working on this truck on and off, you know. But I'm still trying to get this thing done ASAP. Anyway, yeah, so I just started putting the wire, laying the wiring harness back down, you know. You know, the wiring, the electrical stuff, the wiring is always the worst part. Is always the hardest part. I mean, for me, it's the hardest part of putting cars back together, man. It's like, it's always, if you mess something up, and I have messed up wiring on cars before, and I end up thinking I did something wrong with the internals, with the timing or something like that. But no, I end up just like messing up one of the prongs in the wire, and it's just like so much aggravation for no reason. But hopefully this one goes down smoothly. I've already kind of laid it out, but yeah, let's hope this all works out. All right, what's going on, guys? I'm really sorry. I can barely even operate right now. I'm so tired. I'm just exhausted out of my mind, man. Anyway, yo, truck, engine is completely all back together. All I have to do now is the exhaust downpipes. They're still detached. I wasn't able to get them on ever. But yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I was just working all night. Came back. I thought I was gonna work a little bit, go to sleep. Nope. Yeah. I was like, I'm not stopping until, I'm not resting and not stopping until I get this whole truck back together. And right now, it's like I can barely keep my eyes open. I really, really hope this isn't all for nothing. The amount of work that's going into this thing is just a lot of money too. It's still on a budget. Really, really nice budget too. But yeah, what sucks, unfortunately for me, is that it's, as I just said, it's after 4 o'clock in the morning. I got somewhere to be. I don't know how I'm gonna get through the day today feeling like this, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I got so much to do. It's like grind, don't stop, no breaks, no mistakes, man. Balls to the wall till you fall, man. I gotta go, man. It's during the day now. It's completely all back together. Every bolt is in there. Normally I would just put together the bare minimum of what's required to get the engine to run, but this time I just like everything is on there. The exhaust is bolted up, everything is on there. I'm not able to start the truck now because I don't have the oil, so I have to go run to Walmart, go buy some 5W20 because that's what is recommended in here. This is it. Like this is it. So I was already cranking the key over, but there's a plug that goes back to the fuel pump. So I removed that, cranked this thing over. There wasn't any oil pressure, and then the oil pressure thing like went up to the middle. So I know I got oil pressure now, which is good. I'm about to find out if all the work I just put in for the past 2 weeks and all them sleepless nights, everything like that, I'm about to find out if it was all worth it, or if it's all for nothing. I got to take the engine all back apart again. So let's find out.